We all know the classic print-on-demand business model. Research an idea, make a design, slap it on a bunch of products, and then pray that it sells. This is totally outdated, and it may have worked way back in 2015. We have to skip 7 years to the present day and think, does this still work? And quite frankly, I don't think that haircut ever actually worked. We need to adapt and think of more ways to use our print-on-demand talents to make even more money. And I think I have the perfect solution. In fact, I actually have 3 solutions, so let's do it. Rather than just selling your designs on the classic things like apparel, pillows, and even shower curtains for that matter, because that stuff is all really tough to sell. And as well as all of that, we can also sell our designs as digital files. Genius. By doing this, you're now marketing to an entirely new audience. Rather than selling to the end consumer, you're now selling to the print-on-demand seller who is actively looking to buy designs and will be happy to buy your design. The reason I'm thinking you should do it is because if you're already making print-on-demand designs, you already have that knowledge, you already know what you're doing, then it's a no-brainer to also sell digital files and make even more money. So let's get right into it. We're going to be going over 3 platforms: Etsy, Creative Fabrica, and Fiverr. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what to do. Let's start with Etsy. Now, the thing with Etsy is you want to sell bundles. And when I say bundles, I mean turning something like this into something like this. You see how one design just magically became 7 designs? Well, that's what we want to do. So when you think about it, it's actually not that much more work because the base of that design is still the same. It can be a simple text design. So if you're not a creative genius and you're thinking, I can't do this, you can. Don't worry. And if you're also thinking, well, why am I doing this? Why don't I just use the designs I'm creating for digital files and sell them myself on t-shirts and pillows? Well, the idea of this video is we're trying to add another stream of income. I'm trying to, help you reach a new audience and get even more sale. Alright, so you want to sell these digital files on Etsy. The first thing you need to do is head to Etsy, the actual website. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, click over here where it says sell, click sell on Etsy. Once you do that, you can scroll down and click open your shop. Once you've opened your shop, on the top right corner, you'll be able to click add a listing. Now there's a few steps in between there where you just put your information in to actually open your shop. It's really simple. But once you click add a listing, you'll go here. And this is the listing page where you can see add a new listing, photos, videos, listing details, inventory and pricing, personalization, delivery, all of that. So we want to scroll down and go where it says listing details. And then here where it says type. Now we have physical or digital. Physical is selling a tangible product that you'll actually deliver to your buyers. And digital is selling what we're trying to do here, a digital file, right? Designs. So you want to make sure that you click digital, put a description in, put a title in, put all the information in, the tags, the price, all of that kind of stuff, upload the file here and then click publish. Once you click publish, you are good to go. You see how simple it is to add a digital listing to Etsy. Now just repeat that a whole bunch of times with more digital designs. We are the pros and the cons. Yes, I'm the pro and this one over here is all the bad stuff. They're going to tell you what's bad about the platform. But for now, let me tell you what's good about using Etsy. The first one is Etsy has a huge influx of traffic every single day. They get a lot of people visiting their website. The second one is they've got a pretty good reputation, as in people trust Etsy. Whoops. The third one is, and this applies to pretty much all the platforms, is there's no base cost. The profit is huge for that reason. Now, Etsy does have a little bit of a cost, and this one over here is going to tell you about that cost. But the last one is Etsy is pretty simple to use. As you saw from the tutorial, you can get up and running so fast. And then in terms of the bad stuff, the stuff that's really important, Well, each listing only lasts about 4 months and it costs 20 cents each time. As well as that, you're going to be surrounded by competition, right? Just everywhere. And also, people are going to be ripping off your stuff all the time. All right, I hear you. That's pretty bad stuff. But I still think the pros outweigh the cons here. Wouldn't you agree? No, that makes sense. Anyways, those are the pros and cons. Okay, that was Etsy. Let's now move on to Creative Fabrica. This is pretty much the same as Etsy when it comes to the idea of selling bundles. It's just another platform for people to discover your work. As well as turning one design into, let's say, 7, you also want to create themed bundles. For example, you want to create a Halloween theme bundle, a Christmas theme bundle, a dog theme bundle, a fishing theme bundle. You see what I'm getting at here? People love to buy theme bundles because for them, if they start getting sales with one of the designs in the bundle, they know they have a whole bunch of other designs that they can use on pillows and mugs and hoodies. Creative Fabrica is cool because it's dedicated to this sort of thing. Whereas Etsy have products in numerous different categories, Creative Fabrica is a lot more dedicated to the graphic design niche. Unfortunately, it's not as simple to sell on Creative Fabrica as it is with Etsy. With Etsy, you just click add new listing, you're good to go. With Creative Fabrica, you actually have to apply to open a shop and actually show proof of your work, and it can be a bit more difficult. Once you have your shop ready, over time you'll start to build a following and you'll start to see sales come in a lot more frequently. And the way I see it is, if you're anyway going to do this with Etsy, you may as well do it with Creative Fabrica. It's a no-brainer. If you're making the bundles anyway, just put them on both platforms and double your chances of being discovered and actually getting more sales. It's us again, the pros and the cons. Yeah, the cons. No one likes the cons. But either way, we're now going to be telling you the pros and cons of Creative Fabrica. Let's start with the pros because, well, everyone likes the pros. The first one being is it's free to add listings. We all like free things and this is free. It's also a lot more focused on graphic design and it's a lot more regulated. So you're not going to get tons and tons of people just coming in and spamming the platform with absolute rubbish. And the last pro is if there is a rip-off artist who's stolen your work or something, it's actually really straightforward to speak to customer support. Because it's a smaller company, it's actually easier to get hold of them, right? So if you have any issues, you can speak to them. And what about you, huh? What have you got? Well, Creative Fabrica doesn't get as much traffic as other platforms, and you can get lost in a sea of competition. And finally, it's like the pay structure. Well, it's totally different. You get like a tiny share of the monthlies. Some people say it's a benefit, most people say it's not. I think it's a pro. Just because you're making more money, right? It makes more sense. Anyways, those were the pros and cons. On to the next one. And finally, Fiverr. This one is slightly different. Fiverr is basically a marketplace where you could get literally anything. So do you want Jesus to deliver a message for you?
Yes, this is real. I will deliver a message for you.
Or maybe you just want your name screamed into a bush on video. Fiverr can be a weird ass place, but there are also normal things on Fiverr. Either way, this method is different because it's a lot more time consuming as each order will be customized. So as I previously said, if you do Creative Fabrica, you may as well do Etsy and vice versa. Well, the same doesn't apply for Fiverr. I would treat Fiverr as a separate thing. And the way I look at it is, I feel that Etsy and Creative Fabrica is more passive income. Once you create the designs and you upload them, you can kind of just sit back. Whereas with Fiverr, you actually have to continuously create the work to get paid. Now, saying that, I know it sounds like it's a lot more effort, a lot more work. However, Fiverr has huge, huge potential. So let's quickly go through those steps. All right, with Fiverr, the first thing you need to do is head over to the Fiverr website, and at the top here, you'll see Become a Seller. So just simply click Become a Seller. Then you need to put your email in and go through the steps. It's really straightforward to actually go through the steps. I've obviously already created an account, so we're gonna go through and actually go to my account. We wanna go over to gigs and then click Create New Gig. And here is where you will create your special gig where you'll be able to offer your services to people. So for example, you're gonna start with I will create t-shirt design for you. Now that's a pretty good title, however, it's not good enough. We wanna really, target specific things with Fiverr. So instead, what we would do is we would say, I will create a popular Christmas t-shirt design for you. Easy, right? Really, really easy. And that way you've got the Christmas keyword in there, you've got popular in there. Now, as well as that, this specific title will work really well during the months of September, October, November, and maybe December. So depending on the time of the year, you might want to tweak your gig here and there. So when it comes to January time, what you'll do is instead of making a new gig, if this gig has got a lot of sales, a lot of reviews, you'll just go in, you'll edit the title and you'll say, I'll create a popular t-shirt design for you, and bam, and then you can go through and select the category. So graphic design, t-shirt merchandise, you can put all of this information in. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to click save and continue, and then it will just take you through the page to create a gig. It's all pretty straightforward. You can have basic, standard, and premium packaging, and again, you can put all your rates in, if there's additional revisions, if there's source files, if it's double-sided, if you're gonna charge people extra for commercial license or whatever it may be. This is where you would put that in. Once you've done that, you will just click submit, and you will sit back and wait for gigs to come in. Now, what I recommend doing is actually messaging people, messaging family, messaging friends to get reviews, to get those initial orders going, and that way it will help your specific gig work its way up the Fiverr algorithm, so you can actually get organic sales through Fiverr's own marketplace. Over time, you'll work your way up to becoming a top seller. So yes, I know it's a lot of work, but it can be incredibly lucrative, and it's just a brilliant way to use your print-on-demand skill that you already have. And finally, the pros and the cons of Fiverr. I didn't let you say cons this time. Go on, go for it. Cons. Yeah, there you go. These are the pros and cons. The cons of Fiverr. The first one being the growth potential is absolutely huge, because if you start getting a lot of orders in, you could start hiring people to actually help manage all those orders. And at the end of the day, you could have a whole team delivering all of these different orders to all these different people, and it could be a big, big business. But obviously I'm talking far down the line here. The second one is you can offer more than just design creation, right? If you have other skills or you want to do something else, well, you can do that. That's no problem, because Fiverr allows you to create any services in any niche. As you saw from earlier, you could even potentially be Jesus like that guy was. The third one is Fiverr is insanely popular, and I mean, it's the go-to place for services if anyone needs. It's just so flipping popular, so you can be sure that you're going to get some traffic to your services. And the last one, and my personal favorite, if you don't mind me saying, is it's really easy to get started with Fiverr, because you could just send your gigs out to family and friends and acquaintances, get them to order it and leave you a couple of reviews, and that will get you a bit of a kickstart on the platform. So starting, with that initial traffic boost will really, really help you. And what about you, Hal? What have you got? Well, Fiverr takes 20% of the final sale. That's a lot of money, As well as that, working your way up the levels is pretty difficult. I find it quite hard. Not with a family and friend thing, don't worry about that. It's still hard. And then the idea as a whole is a lot more work. Each design is customized, right? Spending a lot of time working on each gig. I'll give you that. Fine, you're spending a lot more time on each gig, but I think overall, the potential is absolutely huge. Wouldn't you agree? No. Very negative over here, you can see. Mr. Negative. But either way, those are the pros and cons of Fiverr. All three ideas, Fiverr, Etsy, and Creative Fabrica, can generate a lot of extra income for you. And if you want to give any of these platforms a go, the link is in the description down below, so just click those. And if you want to make even more money, and I mean more money, then go and check this video out here, because I will help you do just that.